Hey everybody, it's Grooves and Gratitude Day 10. We're not in separate screens, we're in the same room. My name is Andrew and I am an alcoholic
Hi,
and
I'm
an addict.
Hi, I'm Jeannie, and I'm an alcoholic and addict.
And I am traveling most of this month, but I'm home right now. And we talked about how great it would be to get more into our recovery. We've both been in the program a really, really long time. We've both been abstinence from our drugs of unchoice for a really long time. And thanks to Jeannie, we're going to have more than one gender and more than one genre of music in this playlist. There's a lot of sober dudes in the rock and folk genres that we could listen to all day long. We're on step 1, which says that we are powerless over alcohol and our lives have become unmanageable. But we're already into when you're new, you're like, what am I going to do now that I'm sober? Like, now what do I do? And the lyrics to the Pink song can be read in I read it over and listened to the song. You can interpret it in a lot of different ways. But Jeannie's got her interpretation. She's going to share you a little bit of the lyrics to the song Sober by Pink.
Yeah, I really admire Pink. She's a very strong female performer. And like I said, I really admire her strength and her outspokenness. And so this is one song that she has, and it's called Sober. Ah, the sun is blinding. Ah, I stayed up again. Ah, I am finding that's not the way I want my story to end. I'm safe up high, nothing can touch me. Why do I feel this party's over? No pain inside, you're my protection. But how do I feel this good, sober? And on the reading in the big book, there's all kinds of stories in the back. With each edition, they've changed the stories. I think they've kept maybe just a couple of them the same in the AA Big Book. But in the 4th edition, on page 58, this story. And the title of it was Taught Him to Handle Sobriety. I've come to realize that the name of the game isn't stop drinking, as to stay sober. AA offers a way to stay sober. We members of AA may never again have to deal with drinking, but we have to deal with the sobriety every day. How do we do it? By learning through the practicing the 12 steps and sharing at meetings, we learn how to cope with the problems that we look to booze to solve.
So we take hobbies, we get into like what I call the woo-woo. That's just a colloquial term for spirituality. They say that the recovery 12-step movement is a spiritual but not religious program, so it's not dogmatic. I remember talking to somebody one time and they're like, well, I'm not going to join the blah 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 12 steps because it's too Christian of an organization. Well, I'm somebody, I'm very interested in Jesus and what he said and did, but I'm currently not that interested in Christianity. I mean, other than to criticize it for all the mistakes it seems to be making in our world, but it's not that way. It's not a heterosexual organization. It's not a Christian organization. It's not for white alcoholics. It's for everybody. And when you go to 12-step movement, you can find meetings that have every different kind of person trying to find every different kind of way sober. But in that song, she talks about being high, and you remember what the old high was looking like, but you have to find a new high.
And going to music is something that we really love. Concerts and festivals, and you can just feel so free when you go there. You let the music take you. And used to be, I would do this kind of dancing when I was drunk, and I would embarrass all my friends. But now when I do it, I'm in control, and I'm just having a good time. I'm throwing my arms up, I'm dancing, I'm moving my feet, I'm having a really good time to the music. And I can do that completely sober and in control, and then remember what I did the night before. And it's really wonderful. I enjoy sobriety so much more than I ever did drinking.
Not to tell on ourselves, but I have seen people get their phones out to take a brief picture of us dancing, and they're probably thinking, look at those two crazy old people. And just for them, if they knew how, the coffee is the only and the strongest thing that we have going there. We're having some right now because we took a nap.
Afternoon coffee.
We took a nap this afternoon, and we're going to Nashville to visit a friend. And there will be drinking where we're going when we go to visit our friend today. And we can get a sparkling water. If they have a non-alcoholic option, we can get that. Now, that's a taboo among some of our friends. But I just saw a friend in Michigan who has been sober a really, really long time. And he had a particularly bad case of our disease. He would be the first to tell you. And he drinks a non-alcoholic beverage that's a grown-up beverage. And that's we're not endorsing or not endorsing. We're not being sponsored.
Yeah.
We're not being sponsored by those.
Yeah.
But it is something that I've learned. Like mocktails and things like that have been really helpful to me. So that song suggests to me that we can have fun in recovery and in sobriety. We're not huge Pink fans, so I don't know what her journey is, but I did read a little bit that she did struggle when she was in high school and middle school, even with a drug addiction that almost killed her. And so she definitely has experience. Mm-hmm. And I always said that about Maynard. I put that Tool song in there, and I know that he sells wine. So anyway, we're not. That's something I had to learn. When I first got here, I wanted to be judgmental of everybody else who still partied, but that's a pretty dour and sour way to approach this thing. I'm seeking my own joy, not criticizing how other people. At the Wharf Rats, they have their own preamble, and they say we don't tell other people how to enjoy their show, and they're very welcoming. If somebody who's wasted shows up, I'm sure our friend's going to Bonnaroo next week at the Clean and Sober tent. If somebody shows up wasted, they will be welcoming and accepting of them, and if they want what we have, we'll be there the next day. If you decide to not use the very next day, that Yellow Balloon tent will be there the very next day.
Bonnaroo is going to start Wednesday. A lot of people will be arriving on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For sure the music starts. And you can do that. You can do that sober. There are people there that will help you. The sober tents. They have the yellow balloons and they have the great stickers.
And it used to be kind of almost like just like a group of friends that they had the permission of Bonnaroo, but it was very, very DIY. And now it's an official part of the Bonnaroo Festival. They are going with the full
you can camp in
help
of
the festival.
That's sober. And they have meetings. I think it's 3 or 4 meetings a day that they will have during the festival. It is definitely a safe place.
So I'm a big,
really great friends of ours.
I'm a big fan of all the like NA bars that are popping up around the, I was in a coffee house in Michigan the other day, and they had a whole cooler of stuff, that I'd never seen, different drinks and such, that were non-alcoholic drinks. So, and they cost as much. So the one thing about this was I was on a budget, I could save a lot of money, not anymore because I'm going and buying these fancy non-alcoholic drinks. All right. That's long enough for today. Go listen to our playlist. Well, we're going to put together a playlist with the songs we put every day, but we'll drop today's song in the link. And thank you all so much for attending day 10 of Grooves of Gratitude. And we are so happy to be together today. Bye.